Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought on another fantastic group of indie publishers. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And I mean it. Subscribe to the damn channel. But before we bring everybody in, please, starting tomorrow, the Oswald Chronicles will be back on Kickstarter. So these are some of the covers that's going on. This is for issues 1 through 4 of It Broke Free and Couldn't Read. So these are some of the some of the regular covers, some of the alternative covers. That's by Mannix. That's by Jade Gonzalez. That's the Virgin cover. It's another Jade Gonzalez. That's the regular cover. And that is a Virgin Mannix cover. They all looks fantastic. So, that's tomorrow. But for today, we got actual people on, and I got this guy again. There you go.
Ho, ho, ho. Ooh la la la. What's up, Streamland? My name is JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics, and I've been making books like these, trades, single issues, stuff like this for Unstoppable Comics for the last 15 years. Hanging out with everybody, talking shop, and firing things up for the evening. What's doing, brother?
All right, nice. Let's bring on Mr. Coco host.
Oh, Coco. Hey, how's it going? I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. I've done work for Arrow Comics on Calico Shard, a little bit for some other independent people I'm not going to mention right now. And, of course, I was also a show coordinator on Dispatches from Outside the Box, where we scour the corners of geekdom to inspire you to create outside the box every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Independent Comics Network. And I'm here to ask some questions.
Nice.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show. All right. My name is Michael Nunneley, and I'm the founder and CEO of Omen Comics, also the co-founder and CEO of Revelation Comics. I also write for both of those, and we've even got a podcast going, Omen Revelations Podcast. We got about 11 comics going right now between the two labels, and we've even got a Kickstarter going on right now for Dragon Girl Albino Warrior.
Nice.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me on again, JD. I'm David Whalen from Correct Handed Comics. I have our issues of The Offspring right here, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here that I have in trade. I have a whole bunch of trades out. I actually just published issue 21 of The Offspring from correcthandedcomics.com. And JD, I have to say, I'm going to plug your book for a second. I've been noticing the Oswald Chronicles. Some of the pages that I've been seeing on Facebook and on social media have been amazing.
Thank you.
They look really good.
Yeah, I put those up because Jade challenges me, and so I have to put them up.
It's not a challenge. It looks great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
So you see that look on his face? He's like, he's like, fuck you,
Me? No, dude. I'm psyched for you. You're doing full color pages now. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, man.
I know. I'm just joking, damn it. I'm just joking. I gotta break your chops out here. You know that. It wouldn't be the show if I didn't. All right.
Fuck this. I'm leaving.
Don't tempt me. Don't make me do it. All right. So I got a question for you guys. At what point do we give up on our format? Okay. And what I mean by that is the standard, comic book format, right? Because we do this format. We know how expensive it is to produce in this format. My books are in black and white, but color's coming. We know how expensive it is. We do this format, and we know there's a limited crowd for this format, as opposed to there being the manga size, which all the kids are reading these days, right? Smaller format, less in price, right? We know they're selling, right? Because they're outperforming American comics, right? So at what point do we try to make this switch over? Do we make this switch over? Do we even give a shit, right? Because that's important, right? Because you might just be like, look, I'm doing what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. F that, right? So there's my question, gentlemen. Mr. Mike, let's start with you, sir.
I gotta say, I mean, I haven't read a whole lot of manga, so I mean that I'm not an expert there, but I have read smaller comics before. Sometimes they'll put those trades together in a smaller format or whatever, and I don't I don't personally like it. I think that the art is too small to really enjoy, and oftentimes it's shrunk down so small that the lettering is difficult to read. So I mean, I'm not going to do that. I think my artist does a great job. I think my letterer does a great job, and I really want to showcase those things. And you really got to be in the comic book size to do that.
Okay. Now that's shoot. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think while there are pros and cons to both sizes, my kids, who are now teenagers, I have a freshman and junior in high school, they read the Diver Wimpy Kid and all those things that are kind of like a hybrid of comics and novel form. And I really like this, but I agree with Mike that for the comics, like traditional comics that we create, the size is maybe a little too small to really enjoy the art and to be able to read it, I think, in a comprehensive way. I will say that as a creator, my trades sell much better than my individual issues. So when I focus on my individual issues, like people talk about like different covers, like cover A, cover B, cover C, those kind of things, alternative covers. I focus on alternative covers for my trades and not so much my individual ones because they sell better. I think that, like I was just telling you guys off screen, that when I just did a con, while I did sell a few individual books, mostly of my one-shots that I do, I've sold mostly and sold out of some of my copies of the trades and the long-form graphic novel and the 4-issue miniseries that I had collected in a trade. So I think that while there are pros to the manga smaller form, I still think there's a lot of people that want to, especially our age, old fuddy-duddies like us, that still want to read in that regular 7x10 comic format, just because it's what we've done. But I do think that longer style storytelling with collecting and trades is probably what people go for most nowadays.
Mr. Lanning, what are you thinking?
I was thinking about I was looking at webtoons lately, and the thing about that is sometimes, yeah, you shouldn't stick to format, but you should also learn how to manipulate the format you're using. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, in webtoons, you have a scrolling feature, and you can put a picture back there, like maybe a background or whatever, and you could scroll through it with your panels and make it look good. So if you know how to manipulate whatever format you're using, I don't think format really matters. In the long run. I think we're looking at comic books at the 7 by what was it, 7x10, 6x10,
7x10.
Yeah, and that was for what? That was basically newsstand spinner rack, right? So we're moving. As much as it kills me to say it, we're moving beyond that. But so I think it is. What kind of story do you want to tell? What's the format you want to use to tell it? All these things now are kind of open for us to play with. Don't tell one story in one format and then tell it in a different format. Maybe if you do a webtoon, I saw there's a popular webtoon that's out that they actually have a book, a physical book. I saw in the store the other day. So I don't know. Maybe you can figure that one out too. So, who knows? But yeah, I'm all for changing formats. Just make sure that you understand what that format brings to the story and to the product or to the IP that you're using.
Jay, hold on for a second. I got a couple of people here. Atrocity Press.
What's up, Atrocity?
Howdy.
John says manga storytelling is different from North American comic concepts. Size is not the major reason for manga's popularity. True, that's important. Brian Kriskow says, "What's up, JD? What's up, Brian? It's been a while. What up, everybody?" Brian says, "If we start making manga-style comics, they will not sell because the people buying manga are buying it in part because it's Japanese."
No, there's a lot of American kids reading Japanese manga right now.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why manga is so popular here in the States is because, you know what, they're putting out books on a weekly basis over there. All right, it's one lead with a studio of students, mentees, trainees. The Kohai Senpai relationship, and they're kicking out stuff on a weekly basis. They're filling up 6 volumes within a year, where most of us, we're lucky if we can get a 4-issue miniseries as an independent publisher out in a year. Everybody talks about the manga format, but like it's like this, this big scary thing from the other side of the world. But people are forgetting that in France, they're putting out things, album size covers, right?
Yep.
In Europe, their comics are magazines.
Yeah.
Right. So it's panel work, and then it's interviews, and it's how we colored these pages, stuff like that. You go to Colombia, and it's just a little bit bigger than ash can sizes. We're old fuddy-duddies. We all came from a point where we remember seeing Superman, Batman, and Archie Digest on the supermarket checkout stands, right? And we were buying those formats way back when.
There you go. Exactly.
There's
exactly.
Our age that can say they never picked up one of those digests. Mommy, right? And then, when I do conventions, you know what? This is an unconventional format, right? This is our mystery box. And we load up single issues and whatever tchotchkes in there, and people are still buying this. You know what? Any way you can move the product, you move the fucking product, dude. Plain and simple. I just hate how people use the blanket term, manga is killing the industry, or manga is attributing to this much sales. Well, you know what? They're putting a lot of fucking work into that manga, and sometimes it's not reaching our shores until they've kicked out 6 or 7 volumes worth of content.
Oh, yeah.
So these kids are going to the shops, and they're seeing a ton of stuff. And they're like, oh, my God, this is brand new stuff. Not knowing, how many months of work was put into that. Whereas, again, we are struggling to put out, if we're lucky, 4 issues of a mini in 1 year.
All right, fair enough. Brian says French comics are the shiznit, and if there's a model we should be emulating, it's theirs. Jay makes some great points. And look, I pull up, like, being old and collecting comics forever, I have examples, right? So here we got, I'm going to put myself up on the screen. Please don't scream. All right, here we got a standard manga. Right, so it's a standard size book, nice size, panels, right? Storytelling is a little different than what we normally are accustomed to, but it's still well done, right? Then we have, this is an American comic. This is from Alterna. This is one of Smetty's books. This is something he did a while ago, right? And he would have is a bunch of short stories. And this is, American size comics just shrunk down, right?
Yeah.
And I think it still holds up. It's done, and it's right now. Here's something I pulled out from the archive. That's
Nice.
right now. If you look inside of this puppy,
hey now,
popped up these books, and they have 2 panels.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby at his fine. I mean, it's in black and white, no less. I mean, I barely even noticed it was in black and white, but it's in black and white. It's awesome. So for me,
keep that up though. That's great stuff, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. But this is what I'm saying is that the material can grow. You understand? It doesn't have to be stuck in one format. Is it possible for us? We're never going to compete. I mean, we're never going to compete with Marvel or DC. Damn, the cover price is $1.75. Look at that.
Golly.
it's like but anyway, we're never going to be able to compete with Marvel and DC on the news. I mean, in comic shops, right? The local LCSs. It's just not going to happen. What is it? I mean, Image, Dark Horse, those guys could barely compete. I mean, some of them do, right? But, we have to try to find our own niche somewhere.
Right. And it's funny how I feel it. It's my opinion here. The indie guys like us are the ones that are innovating, trying to push new trends, new ways to push product. And on the low, they're looking at us and emulating some of the tactics that we are establishing, but scaling that up.
Right.
Yeah.
Have we had the finances that they did, I'm sure all of us would be
the
well
first
ahead of where we are right now.
The first person to ever do phone books. Who? Not Marvel, not DC. Dave Sim. Service.
Yeah.
Service.
Yeah,
well, dude, Dave Sim was pushing the indie market. He was running up to conventions in limos and telling people why you're working for the big guys when you could be doing this stuff on your own, like me.
Yeah.
I mean, like him. Excuse me.
He's broke now, but I hope he's okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's broke like normal broke. Like,
he's just not riding up the cons in limos anymore. That's
right, exactly. Yeah.
He might can rent a
he's
golf
also
cart.
not putting out content.
All right, Mr. Rosario.
Man, I got a ton of questions, but I was laughing earlier because I found this in my pocket, and I just want to ask very quickly, show of hands, how many of the guys here outline stuff on scrap paper when their spouses are in Target or Joann's or shopping, and just like, okay, there you go, baby. There you go, brother.
I've got it on a clipboard. I just bring my clipboard around, and when I have 10 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever it is, like, oh, that's the page I wanted to get out. There it is. One more page.
So that's my question. Where do you find time? Where do you steal time from to work on this, on self-publishing?
I'm a writer, so I don't actually do the panels on the pages like that. But I mostly work in the morning, and I stay in my house a lot, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't have a wife to stop me from writing or anything.
Okay.
It's pretty much my own little thing there. But I mean, I get up and I grind it every day.
Nice. David?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have a wife and 2 kids that know that this is important to me, but knowing that they are more important, but creating comic books is super important to me and trying to get my stories out. So it's a lot of times it'll be, like I said, having things with me to be able to do it when we're out and about somewhere. And if I find myself in the mall holding a purse and waiting for her to come out of the thing, I just start to draw in, or even if it's just on my phone, messaging myself, that plot point that I wanted to make sure I remembered, and making sure that I have time in. My son and I share the den that we're in right here. It's his video game station and my drawing room. So a lot of times we're in here together, and he'll be playing video games and we'll be talking, and it's taking that time to be able to get done what I want to get done, but also having a chance to be able to connect with him when he wants to connect. He's not screaming at his friends to run faster or whatever. But it really is just, my grandpa used to say, don't divide your time, multiply it. And that's really what I try to do, is try to make sure that I'm multiplying my time and using the time to maybe multitask when I can. But also I'm kind of a night owl too. So when everybody goes to bed by 10 o'clock, I'm here drawing till maybe, 12, 1 o'clock, most nights. So it really is just about finding that time and multiplying it.
Lanning? I know you got to try, brother. You got like 19 kids, bro.
Yeah. Well, I put them in the cages. So it's okay. Well, the good thing I say is my wife's stuck in an office over there behind me, so she's back there most of the time. So I don't get stuck with a person in anywhere. But for me, no. What I do for my job, I'm able to set up my machine and let it run. It runs for about 20 minutes, and I'm able to knock some stuff out there. So that's how I'm able to do that, and I do that for Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I'm right here doing what I have to do. So
nice.
And she says getting on her nerves, in case you didn't hear that, but
I would.
It's a mutual nerve-wracking situation. I promise.
That's just part of your job. When you're dating, if you get on their nerves and they stick around, you're doing okay.
That's it.
Nice. All right.
That explains why she's still around.
Charlie just dropped in. How you doing, Charlie?
What's up, Charlie?
You're muted. Sorry. You're muted.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. No, sorry. I was hitting JD up. I was like, dude, this has been a hell of a week. If I went through the whole shenanigans, you'd be like, how are you still not drunk, and I'm working on that actually. So yeah. No, dude, my daughter got married last week, and now she went to Outer Banks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I thought we were in the clear after she got married. I was like, oh, shoot. And then she goes to honeymoon and comes back. And then now she's moving out. And I'm like, oh, I guess I got to help you. So.
No, she's married now, bro.
Yeah,
I know.
She's done those jobs.
Dude. I'm like, get out. Oh, I love her. So anyway, sorry, fellas.
No, that's all right.
Congratulations, man.
Yes.
Thank you.
The question that was posed was I showed a little sample of what I was doing, and David as well, when the wife was in Joann's and at Target doing the shopping, and I was taking those moments when I was in a car to do a little bit of work. So when do you find time? Where do you steal those moments during the day? There you go, Bo.
Dude, I carry this thing everywhere. No shit. Like actually work trips, everything. I carry it everywhere. It goes in my back pocket. So anytime inspiration strikes, I have to sit down and scribble something. So when do I find time? Wow, I don't even know right now. So ask me later. I'll figure it out.
So all right, so let me personalize it for you for a second. While you were walking your daughter down the aisle, were you looking at the people in the pews and saying, "That looks like a good face I can use in a
No, man, I was too busy crying. I was such a sap. So look, here's what this. So she's 27. She's my oldest daughter, and when she was younger, that stupid song "Butterfly Kisses." I say stupid only because I'm mad at it. But that song "Butterfly Kisses" came out, and so it was less of a wedding and more of an overblown elopement. And so we had some people there. There was a church, there was a pastor, there was me and my family, whatever. And so I didn't know, as we start walking down the aisle, the musician starts playing that song, and I'm like, yeah. Because I just my face turned red. Tears started. I was like, son of a.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I don't even know how I got her from here to there, but whatever.
Yeah, if I could share with you for a second, my father passed away when I was young. When I was 6, my sister was 3. So I had the honor of walking my sister down the aisle this past November. I understand how you feeling, dude. I was
dude.
My whole time I'm like, don't trip, don't ruin her moment.
That was the only thing I was worried about, was tripping on her dress or something stupid. So, so anyway, no, so for me, kind of bringing it back to reality. Well, that was reality, but to this reality, I was actually talking to Vito last night. Vito Del Santi is a good friend of mine. He's my editor. He's a co-creator, and he's also just a hell of a guy. And so Vito and I, yeah, you know Vito. So we were shooting the bull last night. I said, hey, Vito, I got this thing. And I sent him this thing. I'm not going to tell y'all because it's coming later. And he goes, this is the ultimate Charlie story. This is like some Grant Morrison stuff right here. It's so deeply personal. It's so personally you. And yet it's so big and so broad. This is not a weekend thing. And so we spent all night. So, I mean, it comes in spurts, but I think for me, the biggest thing is I, like you guys probably are talking about, you have inspiration, and I jot inspiration down, but then I start talking to friends. And so it's that late night, or when my wife's putting the kids to bed, or just whatever. And I throw a messenger thing out there to a friend like Vito, and I say, hey, what do you think about this? And he goes, oh, that's stupid. Or he goes, hey, man, there's something here. You really ought to think about it. And so, I'll pull aside. Tomorrow, I'm off. Thank goodness. I'm off work. So I think a lot of us in the U.S. are. And U.S. are off, I should say, not USR, because that sounds weird. But I'll probably spend the morning working on stuff like that. I'll tell you the thing I think about most, though, when I'm mowing the lawn. I think about what I'm doing comics-wise, and I come up with ideas. In this, it's partly cathartic, mowing the lawn. If you guys like mowing your lawn, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And it's also partly like it's so robotic emotion. It's up and down, back and forth, around this thing, around that thing. But it's very like it's almost subconscious. You just do it. And so my conscious is able to say, that's when I think the most. That's when I come up with my most ideas. It's not on the toilet like some people. It's not it's not late at night, although that does happen, but it's like mowing lawns and doing robotic things while I'm packing Kickstarter stuff. I think of stuff, and I jot. This sits beside me while I'm packing because I think of stuff. So I don't know if that helps answer the question, but that's where I'm at.
No, listen, there's no wrong answers here, man.
I can tell a story that kind of shows you where my brain usually is. So I'm an elementary art teacher, and this was probably about a year and a half ago. I was, we were doing whatever we were doing, and I was walking around, talking to the kids, and just chit chatting, getting their art all done and everything. And as I was walking around, I thought, what would I do if aliens attacked the building right now? Like, where would I go? What would I do with these kids? And by the end of the day, this was probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, by the end of the day, I had gotten this whole story bullet pointed out to what I wanted to do. And within 5 weeks, or about maybe 3 months, my one shot, Will Aliens Do My Homework, was up and ready to go.
Nice.
So it's like it never stops. You know what I mean? It never stops.
Yeah, I set aside time, but I don't always have to. To your point, David, it's just you just gotta kind of roll with it, right?
Yeah.
That set aside time, the planned time that I have to work. I never get anything accomplished.
Exactly. I'm answering emails or I got to catch up on this book that's this thick, or whatever, It's like, oh, stupid.
JD, where do you steal time, dude?
I've said it before, man. When I'm coming home and going to work, I'm on the subway. I'm on the subway writing stories.
Creativity never stops, does it, guys?
Yeah.
No. I mean, that's the thing. Harlan Ellison once said, he did a stunt where he sat in a window of some big store, and he sat in that window and he wrote a short story, right? And that was his stunt, And it was just and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, man, you got to be fearless, because I know there's some people, they say, oh, I can only write when I'm in my office. I can only write when the mood strikes me. No. I mean, I can write. I can sit down on a bumpy subway, with some dude staring at me, while some lady's trying to shove herself in between me and the other person sitting next to me, and I can write. So it's okay. So,
I think the problem with that is the people who say, oh, I have to be here to write, I have to do this to write, are constantly worried about writing down maybe their big opus, you know what I mean? Their big thing that they're trying to get into the world, but it doesn't always have to be. It can be sitting down and just drawing or writing a poem, or rhyming, going on Google and just finding weird words and trying to rhyme them, or whatever it is, just to get your brain going. And I think that's, while I don't have any problem getting my brain going, that's one of the things that I do sometimes, that when I'm struggling with a page or struggling with a plot point, I'll just say, well, what else is up there that I can get out? And usually, like I said, it becomes a pretty good solid story that I can make. Sometimes it becomes a solid story that I can make it into a one shot, or even something even bigger than that. So I think it's being two blinders on, and not being able to see a little bit further out, to be able to say, hey, let me just, if this isn't working right now, what else do I have over here that I can get my brain going on?
You bring up a great point. So I don't know if any of you guys, probably none of you, listen to indie K-pop, but I have 3 teenagers. I have 4 teenager preteen daughters, and there's a lot of K-pop in my house.
Hold on, and you still have hair in your head?
I do. I know. It's real too. What the heck? I actually have. Yeah, I know JD and Jay know, but I have 7 kids. So it's I just married one off, and I still have a bunch more. So and only one son. But my point is, by the way, if you guys I like rap and you can put up with it, I tell you, J-Hope has an album called Jack in the Box, and I listen to it all the time personally, without my kids around now. He's a member of BTS, which is like this big K-pop group. The point is, though, is that to David's point, is sometimes inspiration just hits you. You just can't like lock yourself into a time or a place or a thing. You just got to take what, and that's why it's important, I think, to have a little notebook with you for whenever, or jot it down on your phone and then transfer it. But,
I'm gonna tell you what happens with me on that, though. Every time I bring a notebook with me, nothing comes up.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. And
Nothing.
that's fine.
I'm on the back of receipts. I'm on the back of pieces of paper. McDonald's bag, something like that. It never. I mean, I've done it so many times. It never works for me,
dude. So I don't use the notebook at all. I go from scrap paper to breaking things down on index cards, so I can line up, different. Parts. By the time I hit the computer, that's maybe like the third draft.
Right.
When I go for walks, it becomes this. Like, because I'm not writing while I'm walking. Like, oh, hell no, that's not going to happen. And actually, so that's where my story was going, is there's a Korean word, and I don't know what the word is, but it sounds like agogi. Now, if you guys know Greek, agogi is like means school, or it's like the ultimate survival place. And so I was like, oh, I got an idea for this, like, Danger Room to the nth degree. Like, the X-Men Danger Room was like, oh, nobody could die. Oh no, hell no. The agogi, you screw up, you're dead. And so like this whole thing came up, and it was just from one word, song from a language that I didn't understand, because I speak Mandarin, French, and a little bit of Japanese. I speak no Korean, right? I have no idea what the hell the word means. But anyway, that was the point of that story. It was, you just got to take it when it strikes, man. And I jotted it down in here, so, all right. So, Michael, maybe not a notebook, maybe a phone. I don't know.
I had another experience where I was, it was probably about 2 years ago, I was running in the woods, and I stopped to stretch and to do whatever else I need to do. And I kind of looked around. You get that feeling in the back of your neck, like somebody's watching. I kind of looked around. I'm like, this would be a great place for like a 80s slasher type thing, and I'm hearing in the back of my head, and I was like, I need to do something. I need a slasher, because I love like Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Get that feeling.
I love it. Yeah, and so I started, as I was sitting there stretching and continuing my run, still in the woods. I was going through my brain like, okay, female killer, because they don't do that a lot, and started coming up with like visuals, and then when can I put them, like 1950s? I love the 1950s, so let's do it there. So by the time I got to my house, I was running in the house, jotting it down. I'm like, the sock hop killer set in the 1950s, and she's got a poodle skirt, and she is awesome, and I published that one a few years back.
Nice.
So, hold on, where can I buy that? That sounds badass. I would check that out.
CorrectHandedComics.com. I'm going to find you the cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I assume you're a southpaw, aren't you? He's a left-handed guy, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, let me get in my box O here.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up some of these. I got somebody spamming us. They're just posting up like websites and stuff. I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, this
well,
person.
I mean, at least they got you up in there, brother. So, at least I hope that's your link.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Nice.
Nice. Hold on.
All right.
Where's it? Hold it up.
Hold it up again.
David, there you go.
Can you see it okay?
Nice.
Like
yes.
Oh, I love the disc.
Oh, I love the disc, the vinyl. Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just one of those things. You just never know when it's going to come up, and I try my hardest not to ignore it. Sometimes I have to, and you forget, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could remember that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so many story prompts in my notebook and in my phone that I've never used yet. Yeah.
What's up, Justin?
Hey, Justin. How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
Hey, Justin.
How's it going? Hope you're not hearing an echo.
It's funny though. You were talking about, those old slasher movies, and you're woman standing there, and you're kind of like in the grass watching her. And can you imagine, like, what are they? Is Michael Myers on his belly, like just trying to extend to the grass, stalking her? I'm like, whose point of view are we at right now?
I was more concerned with him about being attacked by a grizzly.
Yeah.
In the woods.
Yeah.
Carlos says, look at these talented people. And Mr. Rosario.
Yeah. No! Oh my God. Oh,
damn.
I resemble that remark. Thank you.
Justin, you're a little late, but
Yeah.
please introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Justin K. Sweet. I'm kind of a newcomer to the comic book writing space, so I'm trying to make a start here soon with my initial offering known as Chrome Dog. I've actually got a little preview story that's 10 pages long, but I'm going to have it in a nice premium chromium package to kind of sell as a very limited print, and hopefully I can get up enough funding from that to finish the first issue, and then just kind of make a start. And I'm building a completely original world that's not Earth. It's on a completely different planet in a completely different time. It is linked to Earth, and the people groups that live there are from Earth. There are no aliens, at least not yet. So it's all human based. But anyway, that's, I don't know. I guess that's that. But I'm also a little bit of a comics, I guess you could say, ambassador for both both JDs. So JD Calderon and then also JD Rosario. It's cool to actually meet you guys at least face to face in a way. But I've been kind of going around to local stores. I've got 4 spinner racks. One in kind of 4 different test market areas. One's in a grocery store, one's in a hemp shop, one's in a bookstore, and then one is in a card collecting shop. And so I've picked up all of the long shots campaign floppies, and I've dispersed those, as well as several alternate comics to fill up those racks, to at least try to get spinner racks back into the public, and not just only at a boutique store like a comic shop, which I see as almost like a, I don't know. To me, it's like the geeks version of a liquor store. You have to go to the one place where you can't get it anywhere else.
Right.
And but the main thing is that I'm focusing on indie comics, and now that I'm into the indie comics, like anytime I go into a store to buy back issues, the first thing I'm completely just bypassing anything Marvel or DC. I don't have any time for that mess. I just want to check out the indie stuff that they might have. I went hard. I went so hard.
Justin, with the rise of the direct market, it seemed like they spent less and less time trying to keep stuff on newsstands, keep stuff in the pharmacies. I don't know where you guys are at in the rest of the world, but here in the bigger cities, you've got supermarkets, you got bodegas, you got corner stores, on every block, and the fact that we are limited to the niche of specialty shops, right? Where our ease to the greater world is not there, right? The ease of pickup, and you're fighting a good fight doing that,
Thank you for that, Justin. And to Jay's point, it's the irony of comics. It's funny how this is a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but But indie comic, but I mean, going direct market and almost exclusively direct market, which we really started in the 90s, was good because it gave us everything that we have today. It gave us the Image Comics, which really spurred this almost it was a resurgent indie golden age of sorts, right? Because we had the golden age with Comico, Bill Willingham, and those guys way back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. But this is almost a new, if I could say it, a new golden age in the 90s. But going direct market was also the Achilles heel of comics, because it became so exclusive that we forgot that there's a bigger audience out there, and we became very niche. It's a double-edged sword, right?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie, that wasn't the only shot, because prior to the distributor wars, JD, how many?
Yeah, that's another one.
With all the other places, how many sales were you getting on a monthly basis? How many units were you moving?
You could move as an independent publisher when I started, because the deflation had started. All right, so when I started, with no advertising, with no anything, just go out. You could probably do 3,000 to 5,000 books, easy.
Right. That's like 1 to 2 books per store, right?
Right. But if you really pushed it, you could probably get up to 10 or 15,000, right? And if you were lucky and you got in 84, those guys were pushing out 45,000, 55,000. You mentioned Elementals with Bill Willingham. He said his first issue sold 80,000 copies.
That's insane.
Right. You understand?
Right. That's insane.
And funny, we're talking about you just brought up Bill Willingham's 80,000 copies. Ninja Turtles made fucking big news because they sold out 3,000 units on their initial run.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And Bill did 80,000 units. So, it wasn't just one gunshot wound, Charlie.
No, it was definitely multiple.
Wars and
it was more than a gunshot
wound.
I
don't know what everybody's backgrounds are. But prior to my current position, I was a vendor, right? I used to sell beer to supermarkets. And we had a certain portfolio. Competitor A had another portfolio. Competitor B had another portfolio. And then supermarkets were dealing with up to 20 to 25 vendors on a regular basis, right? And what did it do? It gave them price parity. And because people were trying to move units, whatever it was in their inventory. So going to the whole, but it's easier to shop from one distributor, fucking helped to destroy this market.
I totally agree. And by the way, in JD and most of you guys probably, I mean, if you talk to your local shops, ask them how lovely is it to shop from Diamond today? And by the way, let me just say this. I'm not going to bash Diamond. I'm just saying, though, from a process perspective, it sucks ass. Nobody likes to shop from Diamond. You got to deal with returns, damages. You got to deal with UPS, not delivering on time. You got to deal with delays. You got to deal with the people. You got their forcing margins. It's interesting because we should just call him right now, JD. Just call him live in like some radio show. This is mess with him.
Let's do this.
I love Carlos. But you know what I'm saying. Like nobody really enjoys shopping from Diamond, and part of the problem is Diamond, to Jay's point, is the only place to get your books anymore, which isn't true, but that's what it feels like to comic shops.
Yeah,
right. You had a big retailer out of the West Coast, Mike, complaining about.
You mean a guy Ryan Hills?
I didn't want to drop names. You know what I mean?
Just say his damn name. He wrote the damn article. Like, what is he? What
he wrote. All right, so that was going to be my original question before I found the piece in my pocket. But it was a few weeks ago. He said, buying from indies is the equivalent. Buying indie books for his shop is the equivalent of a mercy fuck, right? And then he followed it up with, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I didn't leave.
You say that as if it's a bad thing. Hold on, is that a bad thing? Should I not want that?
I mean, a fuck's a fuck, right?
You're saying that to a group of guys.
Let me write it down.
I know.
No, not because they are sad for you. Got it. I wrote it down.
Nice.
Anyway, you get it, right?
Oh my God.
He's complaining the other day. I didn't leave periodicals. Periodicals left for me. But how many of us would give the dude free fucking shipping, 50% off fucking cover, throw in a ton of POS? And for those who don't understand POS, that's point of sale. So shelf talkers, posters, fucking flyers to give out to the customers of the upcoming product, right? That's POS. That's something I understand as a fucking vendor from my past experience, how to push fucking product. And yet people like Brian Hibbs don't understand. I am built to fucking succeed in your store, but because I'm another purchase order, they don't have the fucking time to deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's total bullshit. I mean, that's the thing is like my current campaign right now, I've got a retailer, I always do a retailer. What's that?
How many bit on it?
On this current one, none yet. But on the last one, I had 2 retailers pick up. One of them bought 3 of the same thing, which is great. So that's a lot of books. But the point is that I'm selling these at minimal, to your point, right? Minimal margin. So I'm making very little on these, free shipping. I'm still throwing in the stretch rewards that every other schmuck gets, right? So it's like, I shouldn't say it that way, but you know what I mean? Like, any Joe is getting, it's just irritating is my point. It's like, I love, and so thank God for my local store. First off, I don't obviously they have to ship, but they buy original covers. They pay for the art. They buy 200 copies of it.
What do you
They
got?
don't add. What's that?
Third Eye?
No, it's Gateway. It's actually in it's Southern Virginia or Central Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. Close, but yeah, Third Eye is about 2.5 hours away from me. But this store, they'll buy 200 copies. They'll buy their own exclusive cover, and all they ask of me is, "Hey, come in for a signing, or you know what, sign the 200 copies, just sitting in the store and just talking to people." And I'm like, "I'll do that. It's a 10-minute drive. I don't care." And I represent, and it's just it's beautiful. But not all retailers are like that. Unfortunately, a lot of and I get it. I worked retail for 22 years. I totally get it. But I don't know, treating us like you said, Jay. I don't know who that guy is that you're referencing, but it's not a mercy to ask for our stuff. Most of the stuff moving right now is, it's big too, but it's a lot of indie stuff. You go to the shelves, and it's 3/4 of the shelf is indie. A quarter is Marvel and DC.
Well, so we've got a pretty popular retailer out here in New York.
Midtown Comics.
Midtown Comics.
Yeah.
Their setup is they've got.
It's 4 stories, right?
Right, but they've got. You go to the wall, and they have 5 shelves on the wall. So the top shelf, new stuff.
Yep.
Second shelf, indie. Third shelf, last week's book. Fourth shelf, the weeks before that. And fifth shelf, the weeks before that. Right? So, retail. For those of you who don't know retail, that second shelf, 45% of a store sales are going to come from the shelf that is at eye level.
Eye level,
so they're giving their independent books the best chance to succeed. They really are.
Thank you.
And I'm not telling people how to run their stores. So listen, everything is different, right? But they're going off of numbers, right? They're going off of market research. Okay, they're sandwiching it in between popular book this week, popular book from the week before.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to do that. They're able to move that.
All right.
I wish.
Jay, hold on. Wait. Chill. We've got way off base. I asked my question. You asked your question. All over the place. What is this? This is chaos.
Dude,
we don't run the show.
This shit 10 minutes in.
I could tell. Anyway, Mr. Lanning.
Oh no. Hey Jay, what was your question going to be? What was your question? I'll ask a question for you.
No. You don't have to wear hats. Whatever you want. You're a fucking man, Lanning. You're a motherfucking man, brother. Shit. Let him wear a Carnage hat next week.
I'm gonna sneak in the Carnage hat. Jay's gonna let me in the back door.
Nice.
Bad thing is, I don't even know where the hat is. All right. So, what point do you want to reach where you can slow down, where you don't feel like you have to hustle as hard to get your stuff out? Where are you going to be comfortable at?
All right. Well, let's start with Justin since he just popped in.
I'm so far away from all of this, to be quite honest, because I've yet to produce anything yet, like physically. So, I mean, I will say where I'm okay. So for me, the hustle comes when I finally get the colors done for those 10 pages. But I will, I am considering looking at Global Comics as a place to kind of, because I really want to put more stuff out there and have more going on, because I'm building out my world, and I've got all these different heroes. I've got all these different, I'll have all these, a rogues gallery. It's not quite accurate to compare to Batman, but my heroes, they will have a rogues gallery in the city that I'm, kind of starting with is going to be a place that is similar to Gotham. So with all of that, I've got to build it out, and I want to get as much content, I hate to use that word now, but as much out there for people to be engaged in before I get to where I'm like throwing those books in the stores. So I don't know if that answers the question, but
well, I mean, what's your ultimate goal? Where do you wish you've put out all these books? Where do you want to settle? Is it just you want to see the money roll in? You want to see the animated series? You want to see them action figures coming in?
Okay.
Or it's like people are reading my books, I'm at home, or that kind of thing.
So I would like to see them everywhere in all formats. People get physical floppies, they can get trade paperbacks, they can get that. Yes, toys, sure. Live action, hell no. But I will do animated for sure. I'd love to work something out because I want my stuff to be approachable to teens and children. So I'm thinking alternative sources like Daily Wire. I know it's kind of a hot button for a lot of folks, but I think that they're their heads in the right place when it comes to programming lately. So yeah, I mean, so sky's the limit in that regard. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I only want to do physical, or I only want to do digital. I want to put it out everywhere. I want my stuff to be as ubiquitous as Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. Because I'm so done with Marvel and DC properties at this point. And right now it's not even beyond. It's not even about the politics. It's just they're so old hat. They've been retold so many times. It's time for something new. So here I come.
Okay.
Agent Zero Comics is on its way, and my slogan is Agent Action Always. So here we go, right?
Nice.
Let's bring it.
All right.
Some of that Stan Lee alliteration for you.
Let's move it over to Charlie.
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me, I think where I'm comfortable, whatever that word means, is when I'm more like the Stan Lee, right, where I can sit back and kind of be the front man, the face. Although I'm such a control freak, I don't know if that'll ever happen. Like it'll just be, I'll always be writing or creating or managing a summit of creators or whatever the heck. Because for me, for my name to be on a book, it feels like I have to put something into it. I can't just create a universe and say, oh, you guys go and create whatever the hell you want. Dean Haspel. So Dean created a character for my universe. Thank you, Dean. He'll debut early 2023. It's fun. It's cool. But there still has to be a guidance. It can't just be, just letting people create stuff. And so I think for me, I don't know that I'll ever be comfortable letting go completely and just being a face or a name or whatever. I think for me, it's I don't know. There's this parental. I have so many damn kids. I guess everything comes back to kids. But there's this parental aspect of it. I know.
I got 4 of them.
Yeah. So
he's got 40.
It feels like each one of them is about 10 hands.
And I got 5.
Hey, I got one of them already going that way.
Plus 3 grandchildren. So I think I might have.
I'm waiting for the grandchildren still, while I still have hair.
This is how you build a company grassroots. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm thinking. But there's a lot.
Artist, and she's already done covers for Daphne.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I don't know that I'll ever hit that spot where I just want to sit back and coast. I mean, I could, even Liefeld. I mean, I know everybody gets the guy's shit, but I mean, let's be honest. The dude co-created Deadpool, is sitting on millions because of that property, and yet he's still taking work for hire to do Deadpool covers. He's still, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I would do the same thing.
Whatever he touches is.
And he's got a hell of a podcast, by the way.
He does. Yeah, he's actually quite entertaining.
Is the best. It is the best podcast I have on. Yeah, like I just can't wait for the next episode.
I won't go that far, but it is enjoyable.
Yes.
I do appreciate the fact that he's very honest about himself, even in certain situations where he doesn't come out looking very good.
Certain situations. He he skirts the line a lot. But I do like it, and I do listen.
It's in the name. I mean, you got to do it, right?
Maybe this stuff he can't get by without looking bad. Period. So it's like, yeah, that was bad. So.
Yeah.
So David, what are your thoughts on the question?
So the characters that I've been using for The Offspring, I've had since I was 16 years old, and now I'm not 16 years old. And it took me a while. It took me a while to be able to feel comfortable that I was ready to be able to really tell the story in the way that I wanted to. So when I started getting the books together and getting the story together and really like knowing what I wanted to do for the entire run of the story, and started putting it together, this is probably about 6 years ago. And like I said, I just published issue 21. My plan was to get to 50 issues. And that's from the beginning to the end, the stop and start of the story. And I'm almost by this time next year, I'll be more than halfway there.
Nice.
Yeah. And for me, that alone is that 16-year-old kid who just loved comic books and loved superheroes and loved drawing and was getting in trouble for drawing on his math homework. For me, that right there is an accomplishment to be able to get this far and to be able to have these stories since I was so young. And knowing, of course, they've changed as they have matured as I have matured. But to have these stories and have these characters grow and change and be fully realized characters and fully realized people, to me in my mind, is really the best part of it for me. The second best part, the kind of the icing on the cake is all these one-shots and 4-issue miniseries, 100-page graphic novels, and a novel that I feel like Westerns. I have a novel out called The Last Ride to Tyburn.
Nice.
That I'm able to do kind of on the side and still put in the same kind of love and care that I do for my ongoing series that I've had in my brain for 30 years. So for me, while I like making money off of it, and if someone were to say, we'll give you $40 million and just keep drawing the book, I'll say, okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that thing.
Right.
But for me, the love and the pride is in starting and finishing, getting it done and being able to see something that I created become a thing. I have a lot of content. And I'm just now starting to get to the point where I want to take it to the next level, and whatever that means for whoever wants to take it to the next level. It could mean a lot of different things. So for me, it's the process and I know it's a little cliche at this point, but the journey of getting that content created and getting a book that you can be proud of out, and hoping that people see it. Hopefully, many people see it over the span of the creation of it and way past, hopefully. But really that's the joy for me to know that my grandkids will have a physical copy of something that their ancestor created, to be able to look at it and say, oh, this is what great-great-granddad did.
Nice.
Other than having kids and being able to continue to breed the family line.
Continue to breathe.
Not 5 and 6 and 7 like you got. Jeez. Focus more on your drawing and your writing and less breeding.
Some people get inspired that way.
I know. This panel seems like a bunch of Mormons. I mean, like we're out here just, I don't know. Other than our language,
So where are you from? Utah?
Right. Oh, not Utah, Alabama. Yeah. No.
Right. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Wow. We're gonna get in trouble here.
From a place we just got cable 6 weeks ago, so I have 37 children.
Nice, Mike. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I've been working on this really enormous story for I'm going to say about 6 years now. And it's ultimately going to be about 70 issues by the time the 6 titles get done and the big crossover event happens at the end of it.
Wow.
But I mean, really, the that's the story I want to tell there. I mean, I've got some other stuff I'm doing. I'm got a Viking horror story I'm telling right now and stuff.
Nice.
But I mean, really, that's the story I want to tell. Beyond that, I might like, maybe a Netflix series or something along those lines. I have it's a pretty broad story, so it would be really difficult to tell in a single, I think, series or whatever. Like for instance, I actually originally tried to tell the story in a single title, and it was so convoluted with all the stuff going on. It was like I was going from this to this to this to this, and by the end of it, nothing actually happened in the issue. It was all introduction, like that kind of thing. I had to break it up into the 6 titles, but I mean, really, that's what I wanted to do, and I've always kind of wanted to be, I guess, a Stan Lee. You bring that up. I wanted to create a universe of characters, and I wanted to be able to look at that and say, I did that. I thought that's really I guess what my ultimate goal is. And if once I get this story out, I think I'm probably going to be happy. I don't know that I'm ever going to quit telling stories. I love writing, but I mean, really, that's my goal. I want to get the Omenverse story told.
All right, cool.
Nice. Mr. Rosario?
I don't know if it's when I rest or when I feel comfortable. I want to get to the point where I can pay my team a livable fucking wage for this stuff. You know what I mean? And including myself, because I don't know about you all, but everybody's making money but me. And
right.
Whenever there's extra bucks, it's going back to making more product. The only time I get to enjoy anything is when I do a convention on the company dime and my wife comes with me to another state. That's what I want. I want to be able to pay everybody their proper fucking due, and then when it comes time to New York Comic Con, since that's home base advantage, I want to rent out a restaurant and have the whole family here, right? The whole team here, eating and just enjoying and saying, God damn, this is the moment that we all sucked it up for, and we get to enjoy it together. That, not that we're going to rest, but once those boxes are checked, then, we keep moving that energy towards creating more stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Nice.
I guess for myself is I want thick,
booties.
Huge Chihuahua killing omnibuses. That's what I want. Full color, about 20 pounds per book.
Yeah.
Super glossy paper, oversized,
In color.
Yeah.
Chihuahua killers. There you go. That's what I want. I want
Damn Chihuahuas.
about seven volumes. I only
So help me if you don't put an Oswald Omnibus out and call it the Chihuahua Killer Collection.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Be like the Taco Bell dog, but you'd be like, yo quiero Oswald.
Yeah.
Book tomorrow. Chihuahua Killers.
Right.
Come at me, Peter. Come at me.
I only say that because my brother owned a Chihuahua, and as soon as I get it, he cried like a baby when his King Kong. He named his dog King Kong. King Kong passed, and he was crying. So
There's a sad backstory to this. No.
I was like, how could I just make it worse for him?
That's like naming my junk King Kong. You're like Little Dom.
Listen, the issues you have with the missus.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
You see what happens when you finish one of these motherfuckers?
like that scene in Wanted where dude cracks the guy upside the head with the keyboard. Throw out that FU,
That's it.
You just see Chihuahua eyeballs.
I kind of picture it underneath the book with the legs splayed out, and all you would see That's it.
Like Godzilla versus Bambi. Just all.
Yeah.
There you go. But ultimately, that's what I want. I want nice big omnibus, nice big omnibuy. 4 or 5 volumes. I got it. It's gonna drive me nuts. But yeah,
is that the plural? Omnibuy?
It's actually omnibuses. Yeah.
The omnibuses. It doesn't work. So, yeah.
Omnibuy sounds good though. Omnibuy sounds good. I'm still in that motherfucker too.
I like big books and I cannot lie. Yeah.
There you go. So you have the Chihuahua Killers and Omnibuy. My two grand donations to the comic book industry.
I mean, you better have some scraps of paper around, Jay. You better write this stuff down.
Keep talking.
There you go.
Hey, look at it. See, I don't even have a notebook on me, so there you go. See, every time.
There you go, Mr. Lanning. Your question. Your turn.
I want to quit my job. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And just do this full time, and 23 hours a day, which is probably what you end up doing anyway. But I mean, maybe 300 or 400 million fans. Each one of them shell out $5 a month for whatever I put out. But no, just basically to be comfortable doing what I like to do. That's really it comes down to that. If somebody needs help, I can help them. Things like that. But I don't really need. Yeah, I don't need the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle money, but that could help.
All right, no, you don't. I'll take it then.
Yeah,
I got starving artists too to feed.
Yeah, right.
I'm in Rosario's boat. The only person making money on this deal is my artist.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
everybody but me, baby. Everybody but me.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, cool. What are we gonna do? All right, I guess.
Campaigns.
I'm gonna ask one question, then we'll hit up the campaigns. See, it's funny. I got a softball one, and I got one that might take a little bit longer. So I'm gonna ask the softball one. So, what shows are you guys watching?
Oh, that's a softball.
I told you.
That's a softball and a fucking hat.
It really is. What shows are you guys watching?
Hold on, I'm gonna suck my own dick while you fucking talk.
Well, listen, if you can bend that far and get to it,
yeah, with this belly, that bend ain't.
You're not getting nowhere near it. I know. I haven't seen it in weeks. Anyway, Charlie
says if he can make it, he's already.
I'm on the wrong show. I think I got invited to the wrong show.
What was the rating of this show again? I don't remember. Jesus
I'm
Christ!
trying to figure out if this chair has this fancy chair. Does it have an ejection button? Like, how do I get the hell out of here?
Yeah. Who wrote this script? Mark Miller? I mean, what are we doing here?
Unfortunately, Rosario writes his own
Live
line.
and unedited, baby.
Oh.
Live and unedited.
Oh, Jesus. So it depends. So I actually just finished watching earlier this afternoon before I started packing my daughter up. My older daughter, one of my younger daughters wanted to watch Legend of Korra with me, so watching that with her. That's like our daddy-daughter thing. My wife and I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That's our couples time.
Is that?
It's a fantastic show. It's great. Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub on there just freaking knocked it out of the park.
Oh my God. His recent thing about going to the so it's a Jewish show, right? So he went through this Catholic church and got in line for mass. It's fucking hilarious. I was in tears. I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. He's like, and they gave me a wafer. And his wife goes, "What'd you do?" He said, "I put it in my mouth. I have the body of Christ in my mouth." It's just and then he pulls it out of his pocket and he's like, "I still have it." It's just, what do I do? So that show's great. And then we just started watching She-Hulk. So I'm only one episode in. My kids and I are trying to watch with my teenagers together the Disney Plus shows. So that's hard because I have a teenage daughter who's now working. My son, who has a girlfriend, so God knows if I ever see him again. and that's and then anything else I end up watching is like I'm watching a lot of by myself. I'm watching some classic manga, or anime rather. So I'm watching Gundam Thunderbolt, and then I'm watching with my 9-year-old Unpon-man. Literally translates to Red Bean Man. His head is made. It's a pastry. So when someone's hungry, like he feeds them a piece of his head, it's the stupidest shit you've ever seen. It's really funny though. So we watch that. So anyway, that's the dumb crap I'm watching. How about you guys?
Well, I'll tell you this one. You will see your son again. He's gonna need money soon.
No. Oh, so no. Check this out. My kids all have. My company gives us a Fidelity IRA, and so I was putzing around. I found they had these youth accounts. So I gave my 3 teenagers youth accounts. They all started investing. My son is like this. I get these notifications like he bought 5 shares of Lumen. I'm like, the hell's Lumen? He bought 4 shares of Ford. I'm like, what the hell is he buying Ford for? This kid is investing. And then he's out mowing lawns for like $30, and he's going. And he said, "Hey, cash at me," and then he's putting that into his Fidelity account and investing. I don't need to pay him anything. So,
wow.
Yeah,
He's doing better than all of us.
he's
Need
15.
some advice.
I know.
Keep him away from comics.
Call my boy. Right, he'll charge you this, like 10% to trade for you, but
It might be worth it.
Yeah, right.
David, what are you watching, man?
So, Only Murders in the Building. That's a good one. It's really good. Martin Short is hilarious. Just the way he looks and mugs the cameras. So I love Martin Short. Steve Martin, hilarious. And the young lady that is in it is
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez. Yeah.
She's amazing in it as well. A great script, great story, great characters. I love it. Let's see. Mike, we started Mike, which I enjoy. I don't know if my wife's enjoying as much as I am. And then we talked about stuff that we do on our own. I like to find older dramas or situational things that I missed the first time. So I've been watching Boston Legal, that 90s lawyer show with James Spader and William Shatner. And it's a ride, man. It's a ride. There's some stuff in there. This was like early 2000s. Somewhere in there, and it is like stuff that would not fly today, but it's hilarious. I've been enjoying that. And as far as like more cartoony stuff, I like the Netflix Voltron. I've been watching the Netflix Voltron on and off.
I loved
really
that,
good.
Dude.
Really
it's from the Avatar people. You know that, right? It's from the same production company. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
Really
That's one of the best shows.
The lions are perfect. The characterization that they have is perfect for each one. Midge, right? For the little green one, they finally came out and said if she was male or female. That was the big all hoopla when I was, in the 80s when it came out. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a girl." They're like, "Really? Okay." And then it just moved along with it. It was great. I love like that. That's like kind of taking it to the next level of answering questions. And the Masters of the Universe series that Kevin Smith came out. It got a lot of heat. It got a
Revelation.
Good.
Yeah, Revelation. But as a He-Man fan, they got all my money as a child, all of it.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice,
good.
Mike.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm assuming same shows a lot of people are watching. I'm watching She-Hulk and House of the Dragon and the Rings of Power, of course.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things I'm watching right now. We're in the 61 Days of Horror. I'm a really huge horror fan, and so I mean, as soon as we start getting around this time, it used to be horror month. It was just October where we'd watch a horror movie every day, but that wasn't enough. We need 2 months to watch all the horror we gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, in between watching those shows, horror is what I'm watching.
So basically. I was just saying. So basically, you were following pumpkin spice season. Is what you're saying, right?
That's wrong.
That's got to be good for something, right?
I'd rather, Charlie, you curse us out than say pumpkin. That's wrong.
Maybe for horror, it's like pumpkin slice.
No!
Yes, there you go. There you go with the little Michael Myers action with the pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin flip thing right there. Puns, love it.
So what was the last movie you watched? Horror.
The last horror movie I watched was The Fly.
Oh.
From 1986 with Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, great.
That's actually my favorite Goldblum performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people rewatching that lately.
Mhm.
It must have just come on a streaming service or something because I see a lot of people talking about it.
I've owned that movie for years. Yeah. I have a few staples that I watch every single year during this time, and The Fly is one of them. It's my favorite Cronenberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I don't know if you have Hulu or Amazon, but they throw some real shitty C grade horror gems up there and brand new stuff. You know, I'm like, it has the spirit of those 80s. What the fuck am I watching? Kind of movies, right? But today's cinematography, and I'm all over it, dude.
So you talking about like the Raptor Pastor or whatever that one was? That thing is crazy. And I've only seen the trailer. Like
they were doing a horror movie for like every holiday, and they did. Hulu was, and it was like they had one with the guy in the fursuit or whatever. The fursuit was haunted, or he was haunted by it, and some Donnie Darko type shit. I don't know.
Right.
I can't even explain it to you. I have no idea. Pumbaa or Doomba, something like that.
So, have you guys seen that one? Was like it's nun, N-U-N of that, and it's like this nun, like this Catholic nun holding a gun, and the subline is a blast for you and a blast for me.
That's great.
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And somebody was actually watching this movie. I was like, "Oh my god,
that sounds amazing!"
Say your rosary, you filthy animal.
I just saw Blood Fest on Amazon, and it was a convention horror movie where at the convention it is the horror movie, and everybody who went to the horror convention is getting killed in different ways from different horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sea garbage. It's sea garbage to the max. But it's like, oh yeah.
You know, one of my favorite ones is the one, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but the one that I can't remember the name of the director, but he did it guerrilla style in Disney World.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's
something in Tomorrowland.
Like Nightmare in Tomorrowland. I can't remember what the name of it was, but watching it, you're like, how did they get away with it? Because it is in Disney World. I think the ending, the big climax, takes place like in one of the hotel rooms, so that's how they were able to get around like doing a big thing. But yeah, it's a freaky movie if you ever get a chance to see it. It's pretty interesting.
Do you guys remember that Ugly Kid Joe song, Madman? It was about a serial killer running around Disneyland.
No, man.
Yeah,
I do like Ugly Kid Joe, but I only heard the couple of singles that they released, but yeah,
it was Escape from Tomorrow.
Okay,
Escape from Tomorrowland. Yes,
check it out.
Disney said they could address it, but they said they'd bring more attention to it, trying to stop it and doing all that, than just pretending like it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
that's how they got away.
Yeah.
So
Justin, so what are you watching these days?
Well, so I finished. I'm a huge Michael Connelly fan. I don't know if you guys have ever if you read novels or whatnot, but he's a novelist and he's written a series. He's got a character named Harry Bosch. And they turned it into Amazon Prime turned it into a 7 seasons. It's a detective drama, procedural kind of thing. And then they did a spinoff where he becomes a private detective in Bosch Legacy, and so that's another series. But that's like my plug for series. And so since I finished that. Lately, I've just been kind of wandering around trying to figure out what to watch. Today, I watched 3 episodes of that old Spawn cartoon.
Oh yeah, it's great, but at the same time, I'm just like, come on, man. I know it's HBO, but do y'all really have to get so gratuitous with your flesh? Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a bit of a prude in that department. Marvel was doing that with the Netflix shows. I'm just like, come on, I want the Punisher. I don't want to see any more of that. Let's just move on to getting the bad guys. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. My son and I wrapped up watching Dark Knight Rises. That was pretty good today. And then
I'm still trying to. I'm going back and rewatching the old Batman. So I was watching Batman '89 today, and I'm looking forward to watching Batman Returns again. I love that movie so much.
How many of you guys watched like Batman 1989 was the movie that made you a Batman fan? Anyone?
I could say that because I was 9 years old. So yeah,
Right.
like it definitely did it for me for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I was already Jim Apato's. Yeah, Jim Apato's Batman and the Outsiders really did it for me. So that was predated that by a lot because I'm old.
Right.
So.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I watched the Adam West reruns because they were syndicated before that movie came out.
Yeah.
So I really got into watching those, and then when that movie came out, I'm like, oh man, this is great. I mean, it was funny that 9-year-old mind of mine. I thought, how did they get the same guy to play Alfred again? Because
I can see that
for whatever reason, I associated the two actors being the same guy. And I knew that couldn't be right because the one series was, I mean, I had enough of a mind that I knew that the series was from the 60s. So I was like, how did that happen?
See, I thought the Batman 66 stuff, like, it was cool when I was a kid. But when I watched Batman 89, I felt like, you know what? We're taking Batman seriously finally. You know what I mean? That's what it felt. Looking back on it now, it's not as serious as I thought it was. But you know what I mean?
It really felt like. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
It really felt like, it was. I don't know. It wasn't campy. It had a dark setting, even the story or whatever. I really enjoyed that more serious take on the character, and I think that's what really drew me into liking him.
Yeah. Can I give an unpopular opinion?
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
I love all the movies. I love Batman. Enjoyed all the series and all the movies, but I think the Batman is one of the most overrated, overused characters in comics.
Yes.
Yep.
Not unpopular. Seconded.
I don't think it's unpopular.
Usually I'm like, what? You're crazy.
No, he is.
You're right.
He's Wolverine from the '90s all over again, right? Or Ghost Rider. I mean, it's almost obnoxious. Now that being said, the recent spread that I saw is a gatefold. I think it's a wraparound cover for. I can't remember the artist now. Sorry, but it's got the Bat family on it, and it's got like the ghost. What the hell's the Ghost Maker and all these people stacked up on all these different Batmans
or whatever.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Jimenez?
I don't think it's Jorge's art. No, I know his art because I was an Earth 2 fan of his. It's a painted design, but it doesn't matter. But the point is like it has the Bat family, and it's a badass piece. So that made me go, oh, I see why people like this because there's so much visual draw. But I'm with you, man. Like I don't read any Batman comics. I haven't read a Batman comic since a long ass time ago, right? So
I think that
Nightwing. I'll read Nightwing all day, but
for me, it's they think
I'm trying to go through this one.
Yeah,
Batman versus Predator. Oh yeah, I had that one years ago. Oh my gosh.
Number 2. Yeah, number 2. It's got Huntress in it.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of
Oh no, I think I had an older one than that then because I don't remember Huntress being in it.
Yeah, for me, I think part of the problem is on some level they think they can't sell a book unless it's got Batman in it somehow, and I think they have so many more characters that could use a push. Even Superman, who I don't really understand why people have so much trouble connecting to and writing for. Of course, there are people that write for Superman, of course, but writing for Superman, especially in the movies, I don't think other than Christopher Reeve's first run, maybe Superman 2, we've really seen full Superman to what he can accomplish storytelling wise in the movie. I think the Superman and Lois now is good, is really good.
That's a baller show. I love that show. Yeah,
and I think that actor is great, and I think the actress who plays Lois, she was also on Grimm, which my wife and I loved. It's one of those things where you want to see them push their other characters as much as they. I'll give you another example. If I'm talking too much, I'm sorry, but the Justice League, the movie Snyder Cut, wean cut, whatever. I think that they dropped the ball on trying to get all of the big seven in one movie. If they would have had the Trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then brought in some B characters like Ted Kord, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, even Martian Manhunter, that would have been fine. But then brought some other characters in to be able to give those characters a chance to shine. And then in Justice League 2, bring in some of the other big boys after they had individual movies. I think it probably would have gone a little bit better.
David, if you could just give me a good Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie that was written by like J.M. DeMatteis, I'm done. I'm good. Or Dan Jurgens. Yeah.
Ted Kord is the most underrated character in comics history. Why is he not on a WB show? He is the brains. He is the money. He is the tech. He is the funny guy. What?
I love that guy.
WB. Do it.
This guy knows what he's talking about, y'all.
I was devastated when Maxwell Lord killed him. That floored me, dude. The whole time I was like, okay, he's going to escape. At some point, he's going to get out of here. He's going to do some little thing, and then just bam. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that really frustrated me that one of the first books was that Identity Crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
That they were finally giving him some forward push. And then the most forward push they give at the end is that they killed him to continue the story along. Yeah. I was like, oh, my gosh, Ted.
I know.
I mourn for Ted.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. C, what are you watching these days?
Well, right now, with my daughter, I'm actually trying to go into the last season of Better Call Saul.
Oh, amazing!
Finish that whole thing up because she came to me. She's 17. She wanted to see Breaking Bad, she wanted to watch Better Call Saul. She wanted to see Breaking Bad. I've already seen it, and so we rewatched that, and it was as good the second time as it was the first time. It's that scene.
That scene where dude finds out and he's just like holding it in and just about Walter White.
It's the last season.
I can't remember, but it was so good. He's in the bathroom and he just sees it.
I haven't seen it.
What's that?
Oh my god!
No. Okay, well, it's just you'll the person who finds out will just say.
Have you seen any of it?
I've seen the first 5 seasons. I'm waiting because the 6th one will come up on Netflix after it's done running.
No, it's on there.
Oh
no, there's no 6th season of Breaking Bad. There was a whole.
No, not about.
I think he's talking about Breaking Bad.
Oh, I'm talking about Breaking Bad.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about about Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Better Call Saul.
They just finished that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Better Call Saul is actually very, very good. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Look, I don't like prequels. I really don't like prequels. I think they're pointless. But this one here, the characters that they created outside of the Breaking Bad, normal cast or whatever the case is, were intriguing enough just to see what happens to them. Because you're like, what's up with that? They're not around in Breaking Bad. So what happened to them? That kind of thing. So
masterful visual storytelling too.
Yeah.
Not afraid of dark. Not afraid of small. Not afraid to go big. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just want to mention real quick. I watched Riddick lately. I watched Chronicles Riddick, and then I watched Riddick, and I just had to throw that in there. Like it was so good. Oh my gosh! Like we need an Alien versus Riddick, or like Riddick versus a Predator. Like we need that. That needs to.
Did you ever see that anime?
Have you watched the anime?
Didn't we?
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
I own it.
The anime. Dark Fury?
No, not talking about Dark Fury. I'm talking the original film, Pitch Black. They were basically they were.
I can't find it anywhere, but yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched it. And not to mention, I mean, if you watch Riddick, you see these other creatures. They're like xenomorphs, but I'm just saying, like the actual like acid melt through your skin. Like I want him to have that challenge because he's been challenged by everything else, and no one will leave him the hell alone. Poor guy.
Right.
Anyway.
Jay, what do you watch?
What we the wife and I are watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that funny?
I love it.
Oh yeah.
That show's so wild.
And, because of that, we ended up bleeding into Welcome to Wrexham with Ron McElvey and Ryan Reynolds. They buy the soccer team, football team, in Wales. And if you guys haven't watched it, I recommend it because there's so many layers to this. Even though it's a documentary series about the people in town, about the football team, it's also for our point of view. Doesn't matter how much money you have when you're trying to break ground a new business, you're gonna fuck up, and seeing them screw up, it's nice to see that they're human, you know. And here they are, you know. You got Ryan Reynolds pitching mint and his vodka and stuff like that. But when they bought this team, they had sponsors with that team, and they also have to pitch, Jeff McHenry's lamb towing cart for the back of the trailer. It's and they're actually fucking doing that because these guys are sponsors to the team, and the mistakes, and no matter what you think there's going to be a whole set of shit that hits you that's just going to cost you money. So from a business standpoint, scale it down, and same shit is happening to us.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm watching everything everybody else is watching. The only thing is that I started watching Fringe again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's that the second
awful.
time
Welcome
through?
To Wrexham. Can I get some fucking love for Welcome to Wrexham? God damn it! Everybody else is like, oh yeah,
Sure, why not?
watching that. Welcome to Wrexham, watch it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll pretend not to watch.
I'm waiting to kind of like detox from Ryan Reynolds.
Like a reality show, though, right?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
a reality show, but not a scripted reality show. It's
But if he's not playing Captain America, I don't want to see.
Documentary, if you will. Oh my gosh.
All right, so gentlemen, I'm watching that, and I'm watching what's that anime? The with the superheroes, My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia. My son and I love that show. We're waiting for the new season to drop in October.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. All right, so
it is.
Hold on, I want to bring up Mr.
Hey, that looks familiar.
It does, doesn't it? All right, so what are we seeing here, sir?
So that's correcthandedcomics.com. It has links to purchase every book I've ever created. So right there is issue 21 of The Offspring, and my last one shot that I put out, Hawthorne the Clown. If you like clowns, if you like vampires, if you like heist movies, you'll like that book.
That's a lot to like.
I know.
I'm a big fan of crossing genres. So,
yeah, absolutely.
It was a buddy of mine who did some editing for me a while back, came to me with a story and said, let's do it. His name is Patrick Daniel. He's a great editor and great writer. And he said, hey, you want to do this one shot? I said, yeah, let's do it. And it turned out really good. I'm really proud of it. These are all my volumes. So we're talking about omnibuses. Right in the middle is my volume 1 omnibus of issues 1 through 13.
Is it omnibuses or omnibi?
Omnibices.
It's the omnibitches. Oh, sorry.
It's my omnibitches. So in volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Offspring, collecting the various issues, building up to issue 15. And then in some of the volumes actually have some one-shots as backup stories in there also.
I'm jealous of your prodigious output here. This is outstanding.
Yeah, it's one of the things as a one-man band. While I do work with people from time to time, when people come and say, hey, you want to do this? Or I'll contact people and say, hey, I've got this idea. Let's do it together. And they either say yes or no. It really is me kind of on my own trying to build as much content and as fun and great stories as I possibly can. Here's my Western, The Last Ride to Tyburn. I'm in the middle of my next novel, and it'll probably take me another 2 or 3 years to get it all finished, but I'm halfway through. So I'm hoping to get that done by like 2024. We'll see what happens. If you like Westerns, I think this one's a really fun Western. It's got a nice fun twist at the end that's unexpected. So if you're a fan of Westerns, I'm a big fan of Westerns. I love them.
Nice.
And if you go to the one that says Comics and then Offspring, if you pull down, there's my preview page of Hawthorne. Right there, if you pull, right there is all of issues of the Offspring up to issue 20, because 21's on the homepage.
Nice.
Oh wow, cool.
That's
very nice,
dude.
How often are you producing these? I mean,
so I can get a book done completely in about 2 months if I'm really kicking myself in the butt. So sometimes it'll be so I'll be able to get 4 books in a year. Sometimes I can get 5 if I'm focused on a one shot. It might be 4, maybe 3. So I'm not like really stuck into getting so many books out, because I want to make sure that I'm getting them out not just quick but quality also.
Right. Yeah.
So if I need to stop and slow down to make sure that it's being done right, I will. But about 2 months. About 2 months I can get it.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I really like when stories come out. If you like sci-fi and horror, I try to have light moments and fun moments and horror moments. The reason that I built the series to what it would be was because I really, like I said, I'm a big fan of crossing genres. So I try to be able to weave in and out of different genres. Like I said, it starts off very much as a horror thriller, and then it becomes more of a sci-fi. They actually time travel into the Civil War. By the time we get to issue 14, and the time travel element will become bigger as the series continues to go on. Around issue 26, they're gonna be time traveling for a reason that is kind of explaining how they got their powers. It's the premise is that these 3 main characters were all abused as children, physically, mentally. And they develop these superpowers based off how they were abused. And they meet up by accident at a children's home, like an orphanage, an alternative school, and they realize that they're not just linked by their emotional, physical pasts and the powers that they have, but they're actually linked mentally also. They have a mental link with each other that they continue. As they graduate and move on to the world, they continue to find each other, and we meet them in issue 1 in their worst moments of their lives. One character, I try to show each 3 characters dealing with trauma in different ways. One of the characters looks like Will, who's the strong man. He looks like he's got it all together, but as the series progresses, you start to see those cracks show. So while he's like a duck on the pond, over the water, it looks like it's going smoothly. Under the water, it's a mess. Sarah is one of the ones who is probably the most outspoken of the group. She is very angry, very, very closed off. And we meet her just coming out of prison. And Vince is the guy who meets all of his problems with a joke. He's constantly cracking jokes because it helps him deal with. But when we first meet him, we don't quite see that yet because he is attempting to commit suicide the first time we see him. And Will happens to be, I don't want to give it away. Clearly, he did the whole book, so he didn't succeed. But it's through that dark premise that I try to show these kids who start to develop this magnet being a magnet for monsters and demons and different kind of things that are trying to destroy them. They start to realize why they're a magnet for monsters, why they're linked together, why they start to travel through time, and why these godlike creatures are kind of stalking them.
Cool. Now you said you have plotted out obviously up to issue 26. How long do you have the series plotted out for?
50 issues. I'm doing 50 issues, and I have the last page, the last scene in my brain already.
All right, cool. Yeah. Brett, listen, it looks awesome. I actually have the first volume, and I have yet to read it because it's.
What are you waiting for, JD?
I know.
It sounds like you need to get the Chihuahua killer.
Yeah. I call the omnibus volume 1 of the omnibus season 1. So season 1 is 1 through 13. So it's a lot of the backstory of the kids and trying to understand where they're going, where they were, so we can kind of know where they're going. I think I've got a lot of fun stuff in there.
No, looks incredible.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. We got another one up here, Mr. Nunneley.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you want me to play the video?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
All right, cool. Just make sure
I'm a backer.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Dragon Girl Albino Warrior #1 is an East meets West martial arts fantasy comic with superheroes and kaiju elements. The comic follows two stories. The first is about a 24-year-old Chinese warrior monk named Pai Long, who was raised in the seclusion of the Bai Long Temple, learning the way of the White Dragon Lord. Propriety, integrity, justice, and honor, and mastering White Dragon Kung Fu. But now, because of a prophecy, he must come to America. The second story is about a 16-year-old geek girl named Danny Finney with an extremely rare and terminal case of muscular dystrophy that confines her to a wheelchair. Danny's loving and supportive parents, Mary and James, are desperate to find a cure that can save her. Check out Dragon Girl Albino Warrior and see why I call it a light in dark places, as Galadriel would say.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. That the video was made at my artist Tosin Awasika did the art there. That video was actually put together by Amy Fusco, or she goes by Miss H on Twitter. Maybe you've heard of her. I don't know. But yeah, Dragon Girl Albino Warrior is actually the 8th title, or the eighth comic in the Omenverse. And we recently we got up to 25 backers, and so because of that, we were recently able to release our first digital bundle, which includes Warbound #1 from Evolution Publishing.
Evolution. Yeah.
Yep. Home Free #1 from Coffee Time Comics, and 3 preview comics from Energy Comics. You're getting Zener, Master of the Mind, Empress, Mother Nature's Handmaiden, and Toon Man, all 0 issues. But the comic itself, I mean, aside from what you saw there in the video, these guys are they serve the White Dragon Lord. The Great White Dragon Lord is one of the old gods, and there's a prophecy that deals with him returning. He was killed off like thousands and thousands of years ago, but he's supposed to return. And the whole thing about this book is that these guys are going to bring about them, and that's really where the kaiju elements fall in there. You'll notice there they had the cover image there that we see that that big giant electrified bleeding heart in the background there. That is the kaiju element. That is the heart of the Great White Dragon Lord. And in this process, this has a really strong family core to it. That's a main theme in it. These guys are going to fight bikers. They're going to fight a mad scientist. They're going to fight kaiju. This title's even going to cross over with some of the other titles. But this first issue, you really get to get a taste of who Pai Long is. You know, I got to talk a little bit about Danny Finney. She's the one that has the terminal case of muscular dystrophy. I don't know if you guys remember this. I want to say it came out in 2000. I want to say 17 or 18. Do you remember the Metaphase comic from Alterna Comics?
Yes, I actually have a copy of the full completed.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I love that guy. He created a comic about like his son had Down syndrome, right? And he created a superhero that had Down syndrome. But he basically puts his son in a comic, and I just really thought that was awesome. And so one of the things I wanted to do with Danny specifically was to get somebody with a disability like that was able to overcome these obstacles and become a superhero in the process.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. We got really.
How many issues is how many issues do you see this running?
It's going to run for 10 issues, and then there's a big, huge event happening at the end of this. All 6 titles are going for 10 or 12 issues that we have in the Omenverse. And then at the end of that, there's going to be this huge major crossover event, very apocalyptic, called Tetrad Omega. They're all going to cross over there. And that's the end of the Omenverse story I was telling you about there. So this one's going to get 10 issues in it, and then probably 3, I'm thinking, in the main event there.
All right, cool. That's good. I mean, you're going to run it a little tight. You got 9 days left. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And,
But there is a digital guarantee, by the way. I to my knowledge, I'm the only one doing this. If the campaign is unsuccessful, everyone who backs the campaign and gives me their email address to send it to still gets a digital copy of the comic no matter what, because the comic itself is already made.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh yeah. I mean, well, we'll see what happens. You never know. You might get lucky,
right?
Bringing a bunch of people. But I mean, if for some reason you got to relaunch, let me know early, and we can bring you on early, and then hopefully we can get this moving a little bit faster for you.
Yeah.
Keep
that in mind. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, the story sounds fun.
Yeah, thanks. This is a lot of my comics, especially in Omen Comics, are very, I guess, kind of superhero horror. They're very graphically violent and very dark themed. I got a scene in one of my comics where a girl gives a guy a Colombian necktie very graphically, that kind of thing. Whereas Dragon Girl Albino Warrior, that's why I call it a light in dark places. It's something different than I usually write.
Yeah, I backed it. I thought it was a cool looking concept. It just popped up in my Kickstarter feed, and I was like, I like that. I back a lot of the Immortal Studios stuff, and it just kind of popped in because of that. So yeah.
No, it's really cool.
Very nice.
Now
that looks familiar.
We have this crazy looking comic here on a site I never heard of.
Charlie, is it your first Zoop?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's me.
First Zoop?
It is my first Zoop. Hey Pops. So I had talked to Zoop for almost a year now when they were still really exclusive and doing highly curated, like Ron Mars and stuff like those guys. Hey Pops. I had talked to them and they were still only doing the curated kind of whatever. So we stayed in communication. But I like Zoop. I'm really actually personally as a user, this is the best experience you're going to get because. You guys we all know, because all of us do Kickstarter, is you go to Kickstarter, and if you're a backer who really is interested in a product, you don't just pick something and go. You sit there and you mull over the rewards, you try to figure out like which one works best, and then you pick a reward, and then you get to the add-ons page and you're like, oh shit, well I could have just done and you go back because you change the reward to do and you try to maximize it. And what I really love about this is the shopping experience. You don't have to pick one tier. Like if you want to back at the Ares cover there and then go to the Nitho Diaz Zoop exclusive cover, and then maybe you want to add one other cover, but you don't want all 5, you can pick all of the covers you want, and then you can jump down to the add-ons and still add other stuff, whether it's metal trading cards or whatever, right? And so I like the shopping experience, and there's no mystery. When you guys go to this page, if you keep scrolling, you're going to hit add-ons soon, so you get into the bottom of the rewards, and then there's the add-ons, so you know what you're getting, and you could totally plan out your shopping experience. You just add crap to your cart, and then as you add stuff, you maybe go back to your cart at the top and then change what you want. It's beautiful. I think it's a great experience for fans and backers. It's not perfect. It's still in software we call this MVP, or most minimal viable product. But what's really neat is all I had to do is submit the story, text, and graphics to the team. They build the page for you. You approve the page. You don't have to sit there and do all the edits yourself. It's really nice. I'm a big fan of this. They just announced Ron Mars and I forget who his co-creator is. They're coming back to this program too. It's a Zoop for crowdfunding as well. I just think it's really good. Like Kickstarter, you only pay if this is successful. So we got 19 days left to get another $3,900. For this campaign. It's normal. It's not unusual. There's no fighting of algorithms either, so I don't have to worry about trying to get real high real fast just to get that project we love and get ticked up higher. And there's no algorithms. You're not fighting that stuff. I think today there's 3 live campaigns because it's still curated. The team there does a really good job. Milestone, by the way, I can talk about this book all day because I love this book. I did not write it. This is my character. I created this. He's in my universe. Vito Del Santi is writing this book. I'm reading this as a fan too, and I absolutely love what Vito is putting out there. And Ariel, this first page issue, he drew little over a year ago, and then I had a great campaign with issue 2 of Spider Squirrel, which, by the way, was the first appearance of Milestone himself. He was a cameoed shadow character at the end, last panel, actually. And that campaign did well enough that it went ahead and funded Milestone number 2. So I've already got that drawn and done. And Ariel's art from 1 to 2, it's obviously his. It hasn't changed that much, but you can tell it's so much more refined. It's freaking gorgeous. So this book is a lot of fun, guys. This is imagine putting the hands of Daredevil, a guilt-ridden, kind of a burdened, lonely character who's got some depression issues. The powers of a Silver Surfer or like a Silver Age Superman, where he can probably do whatever the hell he wants, and so you put the fate of the universe into the hands of a guy who's struggling with his own psyche. And you can see Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda make a little cameo there in a flashback sequence. This is a direct spinoff from my Spider Squirrel story. It's a totally different tone. If you read Spider Squirrel, you guys know had a blast. It's a mwahaha, buddy cop comedy, Bluester Gold, Blue Beetle, Justice League International, DeMatteis and McGuire era, kind of comedy. Fun superhero story. This book is much more introspective, much more deep and personal. It's still one of the best things I've read in a long time. Again, I'm reading it as a fan because it's badass. So, and there's my team. These guys are awesome. I don't know who that chucklehead is eating pizza. He's a jackass, but the rest of those guys are awesome.
No, it looks awesome, man. I mean, now how many is this a limited series, a one shot? What is this?
Good question. So right now it's a 6-issue miniseries. It may be as little as 4 because what has happened is as Vito and I continue to progress the story together in our little bullpen sessions, the last 2 issues may go to a different series and just kind of continue the story that way. Not unlike what we're doing with Milestone, where for those of you who got your Spider Squirrel number 3 digital or physical rewards already, Milestone has a little epilogue at the end of this, a 6-page story. So this is spinning right out of that. It's just continuing that story. We may do the same thing with Milestone. So right now it's 6 issues, but it may be as few as 4. But we already have a 4-issue miniseries planned that spins directly out of this.
Nice.
Nice. Now, is this
looks amazing?
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
I got a baller team, dude, for real.
Is it a 32-page book?
This is a 22-page book. This one.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. I mean, yeah, it looks incredible. Like, what frequency are you looking to release these? Like twice a year?
Well, we want to do as often as possible. So, you figure with a crowdfunding campaign timelines, you figure you can probably get a book out. If you can run things on time and no supply chain issues, you can probably get a book out every 3 months. So we're aiming to get out as frequently as possible. I already mentioned issue 2 is done. And I say that there's a couple of recolors. We're doing some color edits rather on a couple of pages, and then the lettering, and then final edits. But that book's done. And I just messaged with Ariel tonight, and he's doing a book for Bill Willingham. We were talking about him earlier. He's doing a book with Bill Willingham. After he finishes Bill's book, he's coming back to issue 3. I already paid for that. So we're actually moving forward regardless. So this book is ready to go. There's no risk for anybody backing it. It's just all reward. So I highly recommend jump in. I really think you're going to love it.
No,
Cool.
it looks great. Listen,
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna be in there, just to get me some metal trading cards.
Dude, those metal trading cards are dope. I love them as a fan. I got a bunch of bookmarks from my last one that I kept for myself.
That's my weakness. It's ooh, metal bookmarks. I mean, metal trading cards.
I love them. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so I haven't released it yet, but there's scroll down to, or on the left, you click to updates, or you can just keep scrolling if you want to. I think there's an image of a metal trading card that I'm releasing soon. So backers 90 through 100 got a limited edition trading card. That's for the first 50 backers, that card. Keep going. Let's see if it's in. I can't remember if I put it in there or not. I don't think I did. Son of a gun. Okay, so you guys like the sexy babes on the beach. Well, there's a new character coming. She's an enigma. Her name, we just call her the librarian, and she shows up. The first appearance of her, other than trading cards, will be in the Spider Squirrel trade paperback. I just wrote a 10-page epilogue that bridges Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Spider Squirrel. She shows up in the trade paperback for the first time ever. But we got a limited edition trading card that it's a sexy librarian on the beach reading a book. Who doesn't love that, right? So you guys should look for that. You can find, if you go to my social media, you're gonna just find me on Twitter. You'll see pictures of it there, the pencils of it. So that's coming out, and that'll be available. Come see me at the Hampton Comic-Con. Come see me at Baltimore Comic-Con. The librarian model will be with me. It's my wife. No, you can't. You can flirt with her, but I'll punch you in the face. And just so anybody knows, I'm 6'3" and about $185, and it's all muscle. So, anyway, yeah, come see us. We'll autograph. What's that?
If they flirt with her and buy a book, would that?
Yeah. That might negate the punch. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I might even sign your book then.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, JD. Thank you for having me on. I gotta go.
No,
hey, David.
Hey guys, it was great talking with you guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again, JD. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Have a great night, guys. Everything looks amazing.
All right.
So yeah, get out there, back my book, and look. Don't be afraid to try something new. I know everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to create another account." I'm telling you what. There's a couple things about Zoop. One, the shopping experience is fantastic. Two, the customer service is outstanding. It's a small team, which is nice. So you're getting, it's like 5 or 6 people running the show. So you're getting direct access to the founders, and stuff. So if you have any questions or concerns, but it is a platform that is built for comics and comics adjacent properties. It is not built for everything, right? It's not built for movies and music and CDs and vinyls and all this other shit. It's just focused on comics. It's very niche. It's for us. So we talked about direct market versus, broadcast market. This in that sense, tit for tat. This would be like a direct market because it's really focused on comics. I love Kickstarter. I still use Kickstarter. I'm a super backer. You guys know me. I back every damn thing under the sun, it seems like. But I really, really love what Zoop is doing for the market and for us as comic creators and us as comic fans. So I'm a big fan of this platform, and I want to see it grow and thrive. I don't want to see Kickstarter die, but I would like to see them learn from what these guys are doing and vice versa, and really just grow our overall market together. I say it all the time. If you follow my social media, you see I say things like a rising tide raises all ships. I really believe that's the case right here with Zoop, that what they're doing should lift the quality of Kickstarter, the quality of comics, the quality of crowdfunding, and all of us together should be able to rise with it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it looks fantastic. Like I backed Evan Posios. He did a Zoop campaign as well. I backed it on there. It was easy. Very, very
easy. It is. Yeah. And if you missed out on my Spider Squirrel campaigns, you just saw that you can actually get all 3 issues or pick an issue if you missed one right there for less than I sell them at cons. So really, and jump in. And I shouldn't say never. I rarely separate myself from my original art, but actually the inks for the Zoop exclusive, I'm selling that on the campaign too. So I don't do that very often. I've done it twice now. That's it. So grab those original inks, man. They're beautiful.
Cool.
Thank you.
Very, very nice, man. It looks awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Gentlemen, we made it to the 2-hour mark. So we made it somehow. Very
Right.
nice. So, Mike, please let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
Okay. Well, we're on Patreon at Omen Comics. You can go there. We're on the Wicked Publishing store. The campaign is on Kickstarter. Dragon Girl Albino Warrior #1.
Cool. Nice. Charlie, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Right there. Yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere on social media at charliemckelvey.com or Charlie McElvey, grief. And as far as my current campaign, if you just go to milestonecomicbook.com, you can find my Zoop campaign pretty easy. Just it'll redirect you right to it. Come and join us on the fun. I think it's a revolution. We should all be on this. And by the way, we were talking about like getting sued, I think earlier or something like that. Somebody said, "Don't you think DC's going to come at you for a milestone?" I sure as shit hope so, because that means more publicity for me. So,
Yeah.
so come at me, bro. Right? Justin.
Justin, where can they find you and your work?
Oh,
sir?
yeah. So the best place to find me is on the Twitter. I'm at Justin K Sweet. I'm also available on Facebook. I've made an Instagram just because it kind of goes along with Facebook. I've actually created a page on Facebook called Agent Zero Comics. Right now, it's not much of anything, but that's because I'm just now kind of making a start. But yeah, typically you'll see me haunt from time to time different live streams like this one. I'm glad that I finally made it. Sorry I was late, JD, but sorry I couldn't make the last one. But yeah, I'm around and definitely on Twitter. I'm in Discord. I don't know if anyone here uses the old Discords or the new Discords or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to really doing some big things. So we'll see what happens with my boy Chrome Dog and the forthcoming Thunder Horse, who's actually about to make his debut in an anthology coming up called The Out of Obscurity, which is that's going to be a big deal with a bunch of us indie creator writers. So stay tuned for that.
Mr. Lanning, where can they find you, sir?
Of course, you can find me at the Linktree, if I can get it out right. Linktree, which is linktr.ee/C Michael Lanning. Of course, Tuesday nights on Dispatches from Outside the Box, where we talk about all sorts of different things from geekdom. And on Saturdays at Sketchy Saturday, where I sit down with and draw with John Celestri and Rodney Fike of Hasm Productions, Mike Jimmy, and Marv V of the Sin Killer. So, and that's on the ICN network or the Indy Comics network. I'm messing this all up, JD. Let me get stuff.
Listen, it's only you. I'm not going to beat you up over it, but you have an individual you have to answer to.
That's why I need to start over.
When he's not wearing the hat, he can't keep it all in, bro. He's got to wear the hat.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
All that Batman talk, I was about to go get my Carnage hat, but I'm just saying, it's an indie comic show, right?
Mr. Rosario, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Unstoppable Comics, ladies and gentlemen. All roads lead to and from that. You head on to the website. You can find what's new, what's on sale, and all social media links.
Cool. Well, you can find me here just about every Sunday. And on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, all under JD Calderon. Tomorrow, I'll be launching the Oswald Chronicles once again because, I'm an addict.
Sweet.
Also, Thursday night, it's not going to be aired, but I will be posting it up. I will be interviewing Doug Rice from Dynamo Joe fame. Mm-hmm. So, this is mid-'80s comic book.
Nice.
Out there, it was first comic. Went back, reread, the books because I couldn't help myself because I'm a kid. The stuff is fantastic still. Doug Rice, an incredible illustrator, worked at DC. I don't know if he's worked at Marvel, but he did animation for a while, and he's currently teaching. Doug Rice is an incredible guy. I'm really looking forward to talking to the guy. So hopefully sometime next weekend, probably Saturday, that'll get posted up. So
very cool.
So thank you so much, gentlemen. All of you were awesome, and have a great night. Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
You too.